What's up, New York? Sleep in home bed.
Yeah, right?
Well, not really. Because I have to catch an early flight. So.
Well,
Go home,
yeah,
pack,
yes.
pack, and then leave from my own apartment.
You're a big boy now. You have an apartment, you know?
Yeah, right? I know. Can't afford it. Really.
All right, for those that don't know, which I know y'all do know, we have Trevor, we have Jacob, we have Dan, we have Eric, Michael, the boys of Motown! All right.
That's all you got?
Uh-oh. Eric's from here. He knows how rowdy y'all can get. Give it up for the boys of Motown! I like that. He does not work home. All right, now we're home. All right, we're going to start from the very beginning because this is the anniversary of making the band. I want to know, from the audition standpoint, what song did you guys audition to for the TV show Making the Band?
Good one.
Yeah, good. So, the first, like the very, because obviously we made it through a couple of rounds of auditions.
Yes,
So
yes.
the first one, when I was in LA, I did Tear It On My Heart, and then they asked us to do something a cappella, and I did Silent Night.
You did?
2 days. That's on the second season, actually.
Is it right?
Yeah, the first episode of the second season, they aired that. But those are the two things I did.
Cool.
And then when we got to Orlando, they didn't have Turn My Heart anymore as one of the options. Thank God they had a Girl on TV.
Yeah.
That was really the only song of the ones they gave us that I felt.
Contacts.
Yeah, that was the one I felt that I could sing, like that I knew well
Yeah.
enough to like sing. 'Cause I swear I knew, but I knew I wasn't gonna sing it as good as everyone else was that was singing the ballad and Spanish Fly. I just didn't know it, so I was lucky that Rich Cronin wrote that gem because it allowed me to like actually be comfortable up here and be able to just perform and do what I do best, which is perform. So that's my little.
Awesome.
story.
Jacob?
Mine was Tearing On My Heart also.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. Like Eric, neither of us knew the song.
You didn't know the song?
No, I mean, I knew like the melody, but I didn't know the lyrics.
Okay.
And that's why they didn't air anything but the first line, because I go, it's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. I froze, I was like, crap. And like Trevor, they're like, well, that's fine, sing something a cappella, anything. And I was like, I guess it has to be a what's the word for it? It's non-domain.
Non-domain.
So I said, Amazing Grace. And I sang Amazing Grace, and that was my audition.
Public domain. That's what it would be.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Public
yeah,
domain.
sorry. I drew a blank for a second.
Same
Dan,
with me.
how about you?
I don't really remember. I know I did Tear It On My Heart, but after that, I really don't remember.
That was I Swear, right?
Well, that was, yeah, when we got to Orlando. I'm trying to think of the original audition on that day in Nashville. That was a blur.
Okay. Eric?
For me, there was a couple, but I remember connecting with the All For One song.
I swear.
I swear.
Yeah.
That was the one that kind of stuck out in my head. I was like, I can nail this.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a hard time not.
Right.
But then you did Silent Night, because that's one of my favorite clips.
I did that.
See
That was later
That was
on in the
when you-
audition.
that was the-
But I felt
That
like
was
that
the
was like
acapella.
my strongest one was. Oh yeah, and then I did.
Then you did Amazing Grace again.
Amazing Grace. I did the national anthem also.
Wow, that's a hard song to sing too.
That was I did a main one. That was easy because I had just finished singing in school. So yeah. Cool.
I'm surprised you guys didn't do Shy. I did Shy, If I Ever Fall in Love. I'm surprised you guys didn't pick that one.
That was not on the list.
It
I
wasn't.
would have done that.
In Chicago, we had that one.
Yeah.
All right,
I would
anyway.
have done that.
Hey,
All
I was
right,
on
anyways.
your list. Seriously?
Yeah, I sang Tearing On My Heart and then Shy, If I Ever Fall in Love.
We got screwed.
Yeah, right?
Wait a second. You guys made it. I didn't. So maybe.
Hold on a second. Did you tell them like kind of like our history kind of? I mean.
Yeah, I did the whole intro. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
great.
This is about you guys. Thank you, though, but this is about you guys right now.
Well, just so they had the reference of what we were talking
Yes.
about, like in his audition in Chicago.
Yes.
They had
I
a
did.
song that I would have loved to have sang.
Great song.
Right.
All right. So, hold on. So us 5 made the top 25, and then 3 of them made the top 8. 2 of us did not. Me and Dan did not make the top 8. Dan, when we're there at the banquet and Lou Pearlman's reading the names and everything, and your name is not called, what were your like real emotions and feelings at that time?
I actually had no expectation of getting called. Like, I remember thinking pretty vividly. I remember having a conversation. I was roommates with Jackie Salvucci
Oh, okay, yeah.
in Orlando, and I remember we were talking in the room one night, and the camera never looked at me once. Like everything was focused on Jackie, and I was like, "How come they're not even looking at me? What's going on here?" But yeah, I swear, and I remember thinking like something's going on. But I also felt coming out of there that I was that something bigger was coming afterwards.
Okay.
So I got on the phone with my mom afterwards. I was like, I didn't make it, but like something happened here because I did really well, and I felt like really comfortable with how I did.
Yeah. Obviously, it worked out for him, right? Okay, how it worked out. Let's get to that for a second, okay? Because nothing's off limits. We talked about that earlier. Our first fan question of the night is KP wants to know what really happened with the Kaika. Spill the tea. And I was watching it back. The brother said, "You don't know the whole story." Do we now know the whole story, or we still don't know?
I think the story is still writing itself.
Is that the case?
No.
No.
No, I think it was probably a mix of confusion, a mix of homesickness.
Mm-hmm.
He had just gotten a recent relationship with someone he was madly in love with at the time, and so I could relate to that. And so I think there was just a lot of transition happening. And then I don't know, some people might, Dan can speak on this because Dan was new to the group, and so he got in and he sort of experienced what it was to be in TransCon, what it was to be with Lou.
Oh yeah, Lou
And
was,
so,
Lou was creepy from day one.
Really? Okay.
From the second I got there, from the first day, I was like, something's wrong with this guy. And I don't know if it was because these guys were already in it for a while, that maybe they didn't see it.
Right.
So like,
We were already brainwashed. We were like, whoa, Lou, we love him. We're brainwashed already.
I've always,
Big Papa.
I've always assumed, I've never talked to a guy about this, but I've always assumed that something Lou was doing was creepy and it creeped him out.
Yeah.
I've always assumed that because
That was an assumption. That does not reflect the thoughts of the entire
For sure,
group.
for sure.
It's only one man's opinion.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice.
Watching back the episodes recently, there was something going on. I felt like it was edited a little bit where like it was, I think Dan's onto something there. Let's skip around for a second because I have this later, but may as well talk about it now. Obviously, Luke Pearlman's a very polarizing figure, looking back, 25 years later and everything. Unfortunately, he did pass away. 25 years later, what are your thoughts and views of Luke Pearlman? Because in one respect, he was polarizing, but on the other hand, he did give you your start. So, what are your thoughts about Luke Pearlman today?
I feel like if you're looking, like, I try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. Like, what would make you take these steps to, screw other people over, to be dishonest? What would make you have to make those steps? But I keep learning more. Like he said, the story keeps unraveling because we weren't there every step. We came way late to the scandal or whatever else was happening, and we were on a show, so we were isolated from a lot of it. But we recently, all these documentaries keep coming out, and one of Lou's friends from the past was talking about it, and we always assumed, he had Backstreet, he had Britney, he had NSYNC, he was making so much money, and I also thought, that was your time to go straight. You're finally making that money, that's when you clean up and you go straight. And it made sense to me until recently, and I found out, well, to get Backstreet Boys the deal at the time, he had to basically give BMG all the rights. So yes, he was 50% of the band, but like what he was making from the record label, and I recently learned this from the documentary, so I could still be learning more, but he wasn't making all that money. Like, yes, they were the biggest bands in the world, but they got that way because he basically said to the record label, you can make all the money, just make them the biggest band in the world.
Okay.
So he wasn't making all that money, but what it did was gave him the credibility to go out and keep stealing from people.
Right.
So that was his way to live the lifestyle that he wanted to live. And the Backstreet Boys and every success he had gave him the credibility. And yeah, he just made those wrong decisions, but you can see how somebody would get there. He gave us each other. I mean, for us, what he means to us, it's hard because you're like, he gave us our future and the music and the business. And man, he did all these horrible things. So it's a hard thing for us to come to grips with how we feel about Lou.
Trevor and I watched an episode back recently, and the whole episode, the whole arc of the episode was about Lou didn't pay us our money that he promised us, right? And Trevor and I were watching, and then it hit me. I was like, what if it wasn't that he wasn't giving us the money, he didn't have the money. He never had the money to begin with, and he said, oh, somebody messed up, and so in that moment, he thought to himself, well, I need some time to figure this out, I won't pay him. Then as soon as we called him out, he took money from somebody else and gave it to, put it to us, and it looked like a good guy on TV, but there was all these things that, it was so complicated, and we'll probably never know the full story.
Right. Let's stick with the complication, because there's one more elephant in the room. When you guys started, there were 5 members, okay? And now there are...
I don't look like an elephant. Jeez,
I do, bro. When you guys started, there were 5 guys in the group, and now there are 4. As you're going through this footage of making the band, obviously Ashley Parker Angel was a big part of the TV show and the first formation of the group. As you were going through those highlights and editing the show tonight and everything, looking back on those memories, what does Ashley Parker Angel mean to O-Town?
I mean, he's a 1/5 part of it. I mean, he's just as important as all of us were as far as this was concerned. 25 years. I mean, Eric said it really great last night. I want to touch on what you were saying last night, Eric. That was good at the show.
It was great. It was great.
It's good not to put it on the spot.
That was
I
really
forgot
good.
Eric said it.
I blacked out. What did I say?
What did I say last night?
No, oh, well, I was talking and I was thinking while everything was happening, and we sort of stick to a rough sketch of what the show is going to be at. So there's authenticity in tonight's show. So it was kind of roughly sketched out, and at the end of the segment, I was like, oh wow, we're going into our last song. And I just wanted everyone to just understand that, like, from an objective standpoint, yes, this version of O-Town is very different than the version from Making the Band. But we're celebrating a television show, and that television show wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the relationship between us 5 individuals, and before Dan, obviously us 4. And we developed a really strong bond, and we created something, and he was just as determined as we were at the time to make it work. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention him and thank him for being such a vital part of making all of our collective dreams come true. So I just want to shout out to him.
Yeah, well said, dude. Well said. All right, let's get a little lighter now. Let's get a little lighter.
Yeah.
You guys were jumping around. I had to follow your lead here, okay? So there's obviously cameras around you 24/7 during this TV show. A lot of good stuff. Maybe some cringe stuff as well. Next fan question is from Jennifer Jen. She wants to know, what's the one thing each of you wishes you could edit out or change from Making the Band? Any season, any episode.
Can I go first?
Go ahead, buddy.
You steal one of ours?
No, I have a new one. I wish that we could change all of the footage to widescreen 4K footage, because just the graininess of those videotapes and the digital download, it just makes us feel so ancient, and I'm just like, I'm not that old.
But
But we are.
actually,
I think the entire 3rd season was pretty cringe.
Really?
Yeah, because everything else felt. The first season was about as real as you could get, right? It was like the cameras were there all the time. The second season, we were touring, we had just gone platinum, but that still felt pretty real. It didn't feel awkward. But the 3rd season, we had really taken off, and we were kind of in some ways over it. So everything was kind of like sketched out. And so when I look back, there was all these episodes that are not fun to watch. There were like just a whole bunch of like awkward things that were like pieced together and put together and kind of forced. I didn't feel like there was a lot of real in the 3rd season.
There's no through line in the 3rd season. You can literally watch the 3rd season in any order if you want. And it's just like, you're not like, oh, I missed something. There was nothing to miss. Like, this was its own episode. This was its own episode. The only thing that was happening through the whole thing was Britney tour.
yes.
But it wasn't like, there was no timeline really for it. So, but I mean, I don't think it was crazy. There was still some fun things we did on there. Like, fun episodes, you know.
Well, I'm just thinking about 3rd season. Like, we would never be able to make that today.
Right.
I'm thinking about
Oh, is that the one
Dan
with
doing
the
Twister. Like, hey, I'm gonna jump in the middle of you. Come on, Dan. With all the stuff that has happened in the last few years, and you're watching that, Eric, what's your idea? What kind of contest should the girls do to win a date with you? I don't know, a banana eating contest. And the TV show is like, sure.
That was like all Britney Spears. I did not come up with that idea.
But they did it. That's like on TV, and I just watched it like, wow.
See, that's all cringe, man.
I don't want my daughter to see that.
And we're not in 4D, so 4K, so
Right.
it doesn't like.
It's like 140.
Bananas.
You know, one thing I don't know, I've known you guys forever, 3 seasons, were there hopes of a 4th season, or how were you told there wasn't going to be one?
So we were actually, so because the 3rd season was how it was, right? And MTV was playing all the, Making the Band marathon, and the second album was about to come out. They wanted to do the 4th season, and they wanted to go back to being around just like 24 hours 7. They wanted the cameras to be around all the time, and it was tough. We didn't want to show that part of it. So we were actually in the process of like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. So we went to Mexico for like 3 days. They came down to try and like get footage. I tried to get as much as I could. I'm like, I'll go out. They wanted us to be like Jersey Shore. They wanted to see what we were like in the world now. Like, go out to bars. We want to see people, how they react to when they see you. And like, we want to start getting that kind of stuff. And nobody wanted to do that. Nobody wanted to do that. So I went, this was before, I remember this very vividly. I had a pair of sunglasses and they put on the makeshift, like huge, like camera, like on top of my glasses. Like, not like, the metal ones that are built inside. This was like a big, it looked like I'm like walking around like the bar. Yeah, act natural. It's like spring break, and I was like, what the fuck is on here?
He walks up to a girl, hey ladies,
It was like just so weird, and
my eyes up here.
yeah. And Jacob and Ashley are like lighting shit on fire on the beach, and the cameras are just like, is this what it is? And it was kind of like we sabotaged it ourselves, and then they were just like, you know what, we're not going to do the 4th season, and we wanted to do music at that point.
We were actually in an MTV office, and we didn't know that this was like a scolding session for us. We kind of just showed up, and because we'd always just be in MTV offices, right? And so we just show up, and I remember one of the producers comes in. He's wrecked. He's like disheveled and pissed, and I didn't read the room properly. And he's like telling us like, so what are we gonna do to sort of make this show better? And I like an open mouth enter-foot scenario. I'm like, I think the show's great.
All right.
And he goes, I remember he hit the table. He's like, yeah, well, the show is not great. And he got like really upset, like visibly upset with that comment because the ratings had dropped so low because the show didn't have that sense of urgency, that sense of there weren't enough stakes.
Yeah.
Right, the stakes weren't there.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's what season 3 suffered from.
Okay, I gotcha. You kind of touched on it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, had we let them come back in and do that 4th, like the stakes would have just automatically appeared.
Yes.
If we would have just allowed them to come back in, because that's just how our life was. But we didn't want that to.
We were actually like blowing up poop on the beach because we thought they'll get over this. They'll
Okay.
just find some horse poop, we'll blow up. They'll get over this. And as soon as they're like, you guys are just gonna do this, we're like, yeah. Okay, we're wrapped. And they walk away, and I was like, okay, let's go party. Let's go. And then we'd go then we'd have our fun. But we were like, I don't want that anymore. We
Yeah.
wanted to just be artists and sing and have our private.
I get it. Trevor, you kind of touched on a little bit about your Mexico with sunglasses on, with the cameras on. Was there any moment that you guys thought was incredible or maybe horrible that did not make the show that you're like, oh man, that was epic, or anything that didn't make the cutting room floor? Oh yeah.
In the first couple of seasons, for sure, there was so much stuff. But it's 22 minutes. They have to keep these stories going. They gotta make Eric sick all the time, so they had to cut all the fun stuff out. But no, there was a lot of stuff. I mean, the Tony Robbins stuff. That's a big one. We had.
I think overall, the stuff that happened in between the cameras being on was some of the stuff that I wish would have made the edit. Like, more than the stuff that's taken out, because the stuff that they missed, I think if it was captured, then it would have made really great TV. And especially when the cameras wrapped, they just didn't expect what happened after the cameras wrapped to be something that made this much of an impact as it eventually did.
Tell the Tony Robbins story, because I don't know if you've ever told that.
Yeah, they hooked us up. This is right before Dan was there. He kind of left, and we were you saw us.
It's why he came.
Yeah, we're sitting there talking about staying 4. I think we did before. This is maybe a sign we're supposed to be 4. And for whatever reason, they're like, you guys need a date with Tony Robbins. So the most random thing ever. But they have Tony. I'm sure they worked out like a deal. Like, come talk to the guys at Lou's house. We put it on the show. He comes to Lou's kitchen. We're all hanging out. We spent the whole day with him. And his goal was like, maybe look at things differently, maybe a 5th member, and like you kind of having us see the potential
Power of 5.
the power of 5. I think he was commissioned by Lou to do this. I'm gonna hold it honest. Like, it makes no sense.
Was he paid?
But
Was
the
he paid?
guy is so convincing, and his hands are like hitting you. You're like, yeah, just stop hitting me. I'll do whatever you want. So we walked out there, like, yeah, you know what? We need 5 guys. We need 5. And that whole day, all that editing, and somebody that popular, they cut it. Nothing, no remnants of it all on the show at all.
When I watched the season back, I felt really bad for Shelly. Like, hold on. Wait. So, what you don't, like...
It's also his favorite thing in the
Like,
show.
I actually, like, in the moment, I'll be honest, when I was younger, I was annoyed by Shelly, right? Because all I was focused on was us being focused and working hard, and Ashley already had trouble focusing and working hard. And so, like, Shelly was just a distraction, right? But when you look back on the TV show, Shelly was just like an innocent girl. She was just an innocent girl. Hold on. She was just an innocent girl who happened to be dating one of these guys, and the TV show kind of played her out to be this like villain. And like they juxtapose her against other people, and like, you know, like my girlfriend at the time, who was not like awesome, but they made her look amazing, and they made Shelly look like this like.
Shelly helped because she showed up with boots up to here.
Yeah.
She was just carrying all the bags. And
She was just a character, but then like they would do things like,
Like how high-
this is still my favorite scene in Cancun when she's getting smashed by the waves over and over and over. But like they didn't have to put that. It was just part of this thing to make her look, paint her out to be this villain, and then everybody cheers. She's getting pummeled by waves in Mexico. Like I feel bad. I feel bad when I look back because she didn't know any
I
different.
agree. She, you know, and she's a young girl who's in love with this kid, and like, he's being taken away. So she's saying things in the moment. You know, I wish you were not doing this thing, like living your dream. Like, what? Why do you say that? You know, like that just immediately everyone's like, oh, I can't believe she's saying that. But like, she's heartbroken. She's hurt. She's going through this thing, and she's dealing with it on camera in real time. She's talking to him for 5 hours, by the way, and you know that's what gets shown because that's the narrative now that they're going to say about her. So.
There's a definite piece of me that knows for sure. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe I don't. That they would totally like set those moments up. It's like, okay, we're gonna have this conversation, and then I'm gonna be like, I don't know if we can do this. And if I can't do it, then you can't stand in my way of my dream. Are you cool with that? And then she'd be like, yeah. And you'd be like, okay, cool. So
I promise you, because we just kind of watched all these, there is actually a scene where he like has those moments. There's a lot of those, but there's one where he's like talking, we're like, I don't know, like, what are we gonna do? And he like takes his shirt off. Just to sit down and keep talking. And I went, really? He really knew the cameras were there. Like, he was very aware of like, yes, let's have this conversation, but it'll go farther with my shirt off. He was not even like getting in the shower.
So, how do you explain the writing session that you and him had when you guys were shirtless?
It just happens.
Oh, it just happened. That wasn't calculated at all.
Now he does pants off too. That's why I drew the line, guys.
Yeah, that was it.
Shirts off, I was like, yeah, beach guy, yeah. Pants, whoa.
you're a freelancer though.
All right, so hold on. Let's move on here. Let's talk about like, you know, it's reality TV. It was the first of its kind, really. Were there moments like that that you feel like were forced? And in particular, how about when you guys were in the movie theater with Jay Morose trying to figure out who the 5th member would be, and you whisper in his ear, and oh my God, you all said that. Was that the way that it actually happened, or was
Why do
that
you
kind
say
of
it like that? You whisper in his ear.
Yeah.
Do what they're just doing to me.
The great thing about that whole Dan thing was that not only was that so organic and something we had never talked about, but then when we decided it was the first real decision that we made without anyone else making. And like that was the thing that we decided. The 4 of us said, no, this is what we want. And so that moment, yes, it is, you know, for the most part, it's exactly how it happened. You know, we never talked about it.
I'll give you more backstory about that
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
because
go
we
ahead.
had never talked about it, and that was our decision to bring Dan, because we had seen his audition, we all agreed how great he was. And at that moment, why we didn't watch that team, that we were at the movie theater, we got up and left because he said, well, you know, Lou's auditioning people. We're like, oh, he is? When? He goes, right now. They've been doing auditions. We're like, who? What do you mean? Like they're bringing back people from the 25?
Right.
No, new people. They're starting over. We're like, no! We gotta go. Before they find somebody, pick somebody, and we just left the movie and went straight to Lou's house. And truthfully, because all that was happening in the background, and we're done, we don't know anything, but he's got deals with Andrea, all the people that are involved with the casting. They're kind of doing their thing without us. They're gonna find a member without us. So when we said, Dan, call him now, they kind of headed around it, but it took a while. He was like, yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Like, call him now. Finally, he was, okay, let's call him.
Yeah.
He did not, he was trying to get us to like pause on it.
Yeah.
To be honest,
No,
to be
we have
honest
the
with you,
cameras on our side, you do it now.
he actually, he was at wit's end. So if you really think about it, he didn't give us much pushback.
Right, we helped.
Because like that night that we went into his office, Dan was pretty much in the band already.
All right.
He just wanted us to be 5 so badly, and we were pushing back so hard, and we had just got out of the Akaika situation, and we were becoming like we were going head to head with like the guy who was giving us our opportunity. That when we did present Dan, like he was like, okay, yeah, I mean he's in.
That might be true, but do you guys remember Jackie Sabucci came to Cancun? Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yes.
And I remember in the moment, the camera saying he was still auditioning for the band.
Yeah, I remember that.
So like that was this was, I don't know, I was only, the first season I was
Like
there
a
for a
week
couple
or-
weeks.
yeah.
But then we went to Cancun. I was there thinking I was in the band. I don't remember if he had told me I was officially, but I know Jackie was there too, and they were still trying to like.
I think Jackie was really getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
think he
think
had
it
already
was-
like kind of told Jackie to come, and then it was like, we got you, but we already got the
think
ticket.
it was
He's
produced.
just already gonna be here.
It's like a free
Like,
vacation.
you know what I mean?
It was
Yeah.
produced. That was
I think,
produced.
yeah. I think that once you came with us, it was like, yeah, it was around.
All right, very cool, very cool. Fan question here we have from a guy named Jake D, who apparently toured with you guys back in the day. He was a merch video guy for Aaron Carter. Okay, so he brought up something that I actually was dying to ask you guys, and it happened here in New York City. I was always proud of you guys, never jealous ever, except one time. And that's when I'm watching the Michael Jackson special on TV, and the camera keeps flashing to you guys having the time of your lives. And I'm the biggest Michael Jackson fan in the world. And I'm like, I can't believe they're there watching this icon right here in New York. Memories of that night, and what y'all think about, being in the presence of greatness?
Memories of that night, specifically, we had tickets to Backstreet Boys that night in Jersey.
Okay.
And we and Jacob was so excited because he had bought tickets months in advance, and he was so that's all he was setting up for was this concert. And we got tickets to Backstreet Boys last night. We're like, yeah, we'll go check out the guys in
I told
Jersey.
them. I told them.
Yeah, he told us.
It's Michael fucking Jackson.
Right. So anyway, we're going to Backstreet
I'm
Boys.
buying tickets. You should come. I'm gonna buy tickets.
You
I'm
want to.
going regardless. And I went, and I was going by myself because they're
No, you
not
were
real,
joking.
they're not real fans. That's the truth. They didn't buy tickets to Michael Jackson in concert.
You know what's funny?
see them there.
What's so funny is that we
They're
ended up
not
going.
that big of fans. And everybody calls me like, dude, your whole band was at the Michael show and you weren't there? Aren't you the fan? I'm like,
Wait, so where were you? Backstreet Boys?
I was in the 15th row.
Oh.
He went. But we didn't go to the 15th.
We ended up in the third row because the night before, we ended up in the same restaurant area as Susan Sarandon.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It was at the award show down the aisle. By the time it got down to me, the tickets were gone.
What are we talking about?
Susan Sarandon had extra tickets. She was taking her daughter. And she's like, do you guys want to go to this thing, this Michael Jackson thing with us tomorrow? We have extra tickets. And so we said, oh, yes, of course, I want to go to that.
As the
And then-
tickets get
And we ended up,
down the
But we
line.
did have tickets to Backstreet
Jacob,
Boys.
he doesn't need tickets. Jacob already had tickets. Jacob already has tickets.
If I were your guys' friends, true friends, and you spent thousands of dollars on tickets in the 15th row, and I stumbled upon third row, and I don't really care, I'd be like, dude, you take third row.
Right.
Because I'm a nice fucking guy.
Yeah, but we couldn't do that.
Did
to
these guys
Susan.
do that?
We couldn't do that to Susan.
But you can put any of the work in to Susan. You didn't hang out with her. You didn't put in any of that work. That's not what you were good at.
You got sat
I
next
did
to
all
her
that
at
work.
the award show.
I did all that
Also,
work.
it was Ashley and her daughter.
I
She
did
had
all that
her
work.
daughter had a crush on Ashley, so that's how it started.
Okay.
It's like, hey,
Take a deep breath.
my husband doesn't want to go. We got some extra tickets. Do you guys want to go?
I didn't think the answer would be this explosive. I was like, we're jealous.
It's all Gary. It's all. You want to know what I did?
Yeah, what?
I passed on the tickets and stayed at home to talk on the phone with my now wife.
Okay, that, talking
Yeah, but I
about
saw Michael Jackson. I also met Michael Jackson that night at the Tavern on the Green, and that was incredible.
Wait a second, you met him?
Yeah, I did. I met him at Second Tank. It was really awesome. And he was like, I love what you guys are doing. He's like, especially you. And the guy with the dreads, why does he have dreads? And I was like, don't worry about him. I'm here. And he was like, yeah, you're my favorite. And I'm like,
Listen, just because Jacob was the first to claim Michael Jackson, like he claimed the studded belt, hey, that doesn't mean that any of us were any less of fans. It doesn't mean I don't have home videos dressed up as Thriller, watching Thriller every single day. Okay, I hate that narrative. It's funny because I still can't do the moonwalk.
Trevor, we know where it comes from.
All right, let me change gears a little bit here. I didn't realize it was so explosive. We have
Glaze
actually
over
a
here, we might as
question
well.
from our audience member over here. I don't know her name.
Aisha.
Aisha. That's right. Like Aisha? Like I?
No.
Okay.
It's
I was gonna sing a song, but I won't now. Okay. So she was wondering if you guys weren't called O-Town, what would be the name of the group? Were there other options, or was it kind of like O-Town was picked for you? Regardless, any other options for the name of this group?
They were bad.
Come on, what were they?
Were there or what?
So we only had really legitimately two things that we even threw around at all. And that was gentlemen. Gentlemen, because, you know, Mark always called us gentlemen. So we were like, oh, we got the gentleman hats. We're like, I mean, it wasn't taken seriously, but it was thrown out. More than any other name, other than Jatad. Jatad. It was Jatad.
I'm sorry, what?
Jatad.
Jatai. Explain that one.
Jetai.
Lou tried to pull the old
Tried to pull
sing
the
trick
sing
on
thing.
us. Like, I got an idea. Let's pull the
And
first
then
one.
like
We
Jet
should.
A
What's
Fuel,
it spell? We're like,
Jet A Fuel, you know, and it was gonna be the second album to be Return to Jatai.
Oh my God.
Thank God it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But so throughout the show, because we shot it in Orlando, when we were the 25, even those 3 days, they would always, when they were trying to wrangle us to get in the rooms or everything, everyone always said like, oh, where's the O-Town boys? Get the O-Town boys, get the O-Town boys, so it was always just, they always just called us that. They referred to us like, where's the O-Town boys? So it just kind of, when it came time to have a name, it was just like, I guess we're O-Town.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. It fits. It fits.
Yeah.
No?
Nah.
Why not?
No, it's something that, was kind of chosen for us. Like,
Right.
if you were to think of like, well, what is a boy band? Well, they're manufactured and they get dressed and they're told what to do and how to act and who they are, the characters. Like, we weren't so much that except for the name.
Okay.
The name is really the only thing that like got stamped on us that
Yeah.
we couldn't really change. That was not necessarily us.
What years later is there a name that you would have rather been called, or you don't even know?
Yeah.
What is it?
Eric and those other guys is not gonna work, Eric. We said that.
When you forget E and the ampersand and then O-G.
I think O-Face.
Yeah. Gosh, man,
All right, so
No, that's not going to be it.
All right, let's go.
That's the name of our company, though, so I can't really do that.
Another fan question. Habiba wants to know what's one moment from making the band that helped shape who you are today, 25 years later. Deep question, but a good question. One moment that has shaped you guys to be who you are today.
Miss America?
Why is that?
Because it was so bad and it was like rock bottom and we like got together and like rehearsed and fought and to show that we're not that and to become better out of it, leave that way in the dust. Like we did that.
It was new stakes for that. Like,
Yeah.
like immediately we had got a dose of like reality. Now you're not the golden kids anymore. Like everyone's kind of mad at you and thinks that you were irresponsible for doing that. And so it kind of forces us inwards, and I can see why Trevor said that.
Okay. Another fan question we have here is if you go back in time, what would you tell your younger self during the making the band days? Obviously, you know, perspective is always something crazy as you get older. Hindsight's 20/20. So if you could go down and sit with your younger self, what would you tell? You got a long list?
Yeah.
Oh, give me some.
Keep most of it to
Oh.
myself.
If we could tell our younger selves something?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I mean, you could watch the first season, second season of Making the Band, and there's so many that can come to mind. You know, I don't know. I don't really have one. Because there's just so many.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe just, it's not a knock in the head because I don't think, I don't know, you have
We were
one.
essentially, no, I mean, like, it's not weird to say that, like, there was entireties of, like, it was essentially, like, our, like, early college or high school years, and we were just, like, we didn't know, like, reality TV didn't exist, so literally every day there was something that I look back and I'm like, why? Why did we do that? Why were we comfortable putting that out there?
Well, you touched on something yesterday, which I thought was actually really cool, and I will say that about what I would tell I would have told my other self that this is an opportunity to explore yourself deeper and give of yourself more, and through that become better, and through that allow people to see you for who you are in all of your facets. And I think in the first season, that's why I'm the sick boy. I didn't really give them a lot to cut around. And that seemed like, how are these guys gonna make it if they're not responsible enough to like sacrifice? And so like that played into a script, which I'm fine with that being a part of it. But there's, I think down the line, there's moments where, you know, we needed to have, I guess for lack of a better term, we needed a dose of reality, and that's. Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
They can only air what you give them.
Sure.
So, like, I can say I wasn't on the first season that much. I didn't give them that much. I wasn't on the television show that much in general because I didn't give them that much. That was kind of intentional. But if I was strategic, if I was a little bit more smart about it, I could have manipulated the situation to, you know, like,
Don't be so corny.
Or took advantage.
Don't be so corny. Just don't be corny.
Or took advantage of the situation, which, right? I mean, even it's not necessarily manipulating if there's nothing sinister. I think at the end of it, I think the overall thing is true. We give more, we get more, and then you guys experience more, and on a deeper level. That happened more in the second season, I think, and we had acknowledged that. And so I wish that my younger self would have just allowed all that to be exposed.
Okay.
And become that.
I have two more quick ones, and then we're gonna wrap it up here, okay? Making the Band eventually did come back. Diddy bought it or got it, however. Made Danny Kane the band. You guys being the alum, the OGs. Did you guys watch? It happened here in New York too. Did you guys watch that, or were you like, nah, I'm kind of over it? And
I've never seen a
You've never
single
seen it?
episode.
I didn't watch it religiously at all, but I mean, a lot of the moments people were talking about, I want to like see, watch the cheesecake, Thailand, and like that.
Right.
So like, I get a lot of the puns just because I watch some, but I couldn't tell you like, oh, you know.
I watched every episode.
I love the honesty. And now watching it, but like, oh, that's cool, or like watching it kind of bitter. Or how did you?
You want to know
watch it?
something crazy? We actually just recently had a big, there was a big company that was doing some corporate event, and they asked us to perform. It got a little bit farther down the line. At some point, they had some meeting and pulled us off because, well, we can't have you guys because you guys were associated with Diddy. And we're like, no, we weren't. So we actually like, it was like a big issue.
Yeah.
That just because he had a Making the Band after us, we
Right.
never interacted with them. It was never part of the thing.
We have
Yeah.
our own larger than life, in trouble with the law.
I was gonna say that.
We're producing our show.
We didn't have anything. We had Luke
Parsons need a letter.
Criminal.
All right, my last question, something I'm very, very excited about, is the re-recording of All or Nothing, okay? Some fans have been asking, did you re-record it already? And if so, how do you guys like it? And also, what are the plans for the new version of All or Nothing?
Well, without giving too much away, yes, we did. It's recorded, it's done. It still needs to get mixed and mastered. And because we're super close to holidays, that usually gets delayed in this business. So we're always planning for next year to release. Plans with it? I think it was, again, the anniversary started making you want to do things. We've been this new version of O-Town for 12 years. What is it, 3 or 4 times more than the first time? We've been singing it this way. and we like, to put it out and have it be our master with these voices to live on. And I just heard the rough mix of it. We just got it. And I'm listening back like, yeah, we nailed it. That sounds really good. I'm really proud of it.
Spoiler alert, I also heard it. And
You
it
did?
was awesome. And it was awesome, dude. It was awesome.
Hey, I didn't hear it.
You were in the wrong car.
Oh,
We got a listening
you got it in
session.
the car.
Yeah. But y'all should be really excited because it's awesome and it's coming. So, y'all have fun?
Yeah!
Did y'all have fun? Make some noise for the boys of Motown!
We're really excited about tonight. This is a lot of.
Raise the hands who was here last night? Okay, like about half of you almost, right? Okay, cool. Don't spoil anything.
Too late. Too late. Too late. They did already.
This is the social media world. Digital.
Everything's up already.
That's right. There's some new stuff tonight, so don't worry.
Been spoiled.